Welcome guys to our Body Signals Workshop series. Dr. Andrew and I just wanted to introduce you just a little bit about what are body signals, why do we call it that, and so this is just going to be a short video that will introduce you to some of the topics and just some of the information that we're going to be discussing as we move forward along this series of workshops that we're going to do. So let me introduce you to the concept of a body signal. A body signal is a symptom. And I love the example of an iceberg because I think it does a really good job of just illustrating that on the surface we have symptoms, right? Whether that be things like low back issues or headaches or things like weight gain or things like high blood pressure, right? These are things that show up to us, that manifest on the surface, but underlying the issue, there's a much greater problem that's going on that's actually causing the problem. So I want us to start looking at our symptoms differently. And what I mean by that is I want you to look at the symptoms as the manifestation or an indication that there's something more going on. And what we're going to do moving forward throughout this series is talk about what are the things that are causing that. And so that's where body signals really comes from. Now, I love this example as well. This is our illness-wellness continuum, okay? Now, in the middle is a neutral point. Okay, on the far end is high-level wellness, on the other end is obviously death, right? And I always tell people that there's a couple of things with this. Number one is that you can identify where you're at on this illness-wellness continuum. Every single person is somewhere on the illness-wellness continuum. Okay. Now the important thing is knowing what direction you're going on in, because direction indicates your level of symptoms, or your symptoms, even better, indicate which direction you're going in. So for some of you, you may be getting worse, and the reason we know that is because your body is signaling to you that there's more of an issue going on. Let me give you an example. Let's just say you have low back pain, but all of a sudden you start to notice that pain's going down the leg, maybe causing some sciatic issues. That's an indication that, hey, we're probably not heading in the right direction. So every recommendation that we're going to give to you throughout the Body Signal Workshop series, and quite frankly, every recommendation we give you in the office is going to head in that direction, right? Because we all want to achieve better level of health. We just don't know the path there to get there. So our hope is to give you a hope, give you a future for that, and kind of guide you along that path.
All right, so Dr. Andrew here. Hey guys, I'm just with Dr. Jordan. And we also, we want you to know about this tool. It's not just about getting adjusted. We wish that we could have you guys get adjusted and that's the silver bullet and that takes care of everything. It's just not the case. And I think you guys know that. And so what are the other key things that will really make or break not only your results here in the office and your adjustments, but also your health overall? And I would say this is a great way to describe that, a great tool to make sure you have all the pieces in place and not just your adjustments, which is really important, but there's some other pieces of the puzzle as well that you need to know about, you need to start to master. So what we go through is, or what we suggest you look at, is this Bonfire program. It's an online platform that you can look at, and it covers the three really big things that you need to have in place in order to have that health that you want to have. And the analogy is like your health is like a fire, right? You want it to be bright, you want it to be vibrant, you want it to be warm. And so that's the bonfire analogy. Well, what are the three parts of a good bonfire? Number one, you have the fuel. And that's basically what we eat, what we put into our bodies, how we choose to eat is going to be a big part of that fire that you have as your health. And so the number two component is how you move, how you choose to move. We know so much of the chronic disease in our country is related to what we put in our body in terms of our food and whether we're moving well or not, where we're getting exercise, we're working our body, right? And then the third component is how we think, how we choose to think. The thoughts that are in our head are really going to determine what kind of health we're going to express. And I would say this is the spark, the key to getting the thing catalyzed and going. And so you think about a fire, you need all these three components, and you need these three components to really express vibrant health as well. And So this is a program you can subscribe to online. It'll send you emails over a period of 90 days. You'll install about over 30 habits in each one of these 3 critical parts. And it just bite-sized pieces to help you take those steps. And so in this next one, it just kind of focuses on what is the benefit of these over time. I think we can all identify with, and maybe we've been there, and saying, hey, we've gotten really good at choosing to eat, move, and think for a while, or maybe a short time, maybe a few weeks or a few months or maybe a year. But then what do we know is going to happen if we lose that, right? If we get off track. And we want you guys to understand the value of how this is going to compound over time if we're able to actually make these habits, make these lifestyle changes, make this not just a diet but a lifestyle change, right? And so a good analogy with this is wealth. I think we can understand how wealth can kind of compound over time, that compound interest. One of the most powerful forces in the world, I think Einstein said. And that principle applies to your health. If you're implementing these small changes in each one of these 3 areas of your life, man, that's just going to compound. And what's going to happen is you're going to start to get healthier over time instead of losing your health. And so that's a really inspiring thing, because you and I, Dr. Jordan, every person, we really have 2 paths that are sitting in front of us at any given moment. The path of probability and the path of possibility. The path of probability being what's going to happen to us if we continue to do the things that we've been doing. Well, what are we going to get? Probably more of the same, right? Get the same things that we've been getting. And what is that going to leave us over time in a place that we don't want to be? Chronic illness, poor quality of life, just disconnection in our relationships, energy, things like that, right? Just medications, procedures, things that nobody wants. And alternatively, we can look at, as opposed to the path of probability, what we're going to get if we continue to do what we've always done. It was the path of probability is what we get excited about, and what we really are helping you guys to step onto is that path, and that is what's possible for you if you make these changes. What kind of life are you going to experience? What kind of health are you going to have if you're putting these things in place? And that's inspiring to think about. So that's mainly what we're getting at with this part of the video here.
Awesome.